Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Arsenal Truex Galaxy podcast. Good to be here with you all today. Uh, Today, we're going to discuss Arsenal's game against Newcastle. Um, yeah, an impressive win again by my Arsenal Gunners. They scored 4 goals, uh, 2-1 against Newcastle FC. Um, First goal, the lineup were almost the same except for a change from the previous match against um, Burnley. So David Raya starts. He keeps his spot as the starting goalkeeper. Ben White starts. Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, QER. Jorginho starts in the midfield as the holder. Odegaard and Rice start at double eight. Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli up front. I didn't watch the game against Porto. Obviously, I was at work, so I missed the match. Yeah, Newcastle previously gave us fits at the last few match at their place, a game that was controversial. At the very beginning, at the very end, Newcastle scored in that game, and it seemed like VAR didn't do its job properly. Therefore, Arsenal gave a goal late. There were multiple offenses that we felt as Arsenal fans were not called correctly. The ball was out of bounds, clearly. There was foul against Gabriel that didn't get called. Um, and there was offsides as well that didn't get called. So there was a lot of motivation heading into the game yesterday, and how he came out. I was on Ryan's podcast doing a watch along with Gary and Tom, my friends on the DWTT podcast, as well as um, Tom, who I've done a podcast with him yesterday morning. Doing a watch along with the Elimination Chamber pay per view on wrestling yesterday, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, so yeah, watching it with them was pretty funny. Because Gary wants more goals, obviously to get past the goal differential, because it matters. Um, but yeah, the first half was kind of slow. The first 10 minutes, we had a lot of possession in Newcastle's half. We didn't execute like we thought we would. But eventually, we got a corner kick. Um, Declan Rice now takes corner kicks, and he's gotten pretty good at it. And you see why in the second half. But yeah, the first half was pretty cool. You can see that Gabriel Magalhaes has been a threat inside the box. He didn't score his own goal, but his presence in the box, scored goals from the corners, pretty amazing. And the goalkeeper for Newcastle used to be a goalkeeper for Liverpool before they became good again. And there's a reason why that they sold him to Turkey, I believe, to a Turkish team. He's been horrible. He doesn't know how to grasp the ball, which is good for us or any team playing against Newcastle. So yeah, they didn't they scored an own goal. I think it was Boatman from he's Dutch international playing for Newcastle. He's a center back, so they scored off of him and he put it in for us, which is always good. The second goal came from Kai Havertz. That was a great assist from Martinelli. Kai Havertz really, from the beginning, he really didn't seem to play towards his price tag. A lot of Arsenal fans have given him a hard time because of that. Um, he came from Chelsea, which is a rival club, and he didn't quite mesh well in the beginning, but he's slowly making it good again. I mentioned him last weekend because that was his best game as an Arsenal player, because the fact that he was doing all those things right, and he got a couple of assists, I believe, and he got a goal, which this is what us Arsenal fans have been waiting for. and that's what happens when you play at a club like Chelsea. Um, they they're in shambles. They're a shambles club right now. So I think getting a player from any a club like that, they're gonna need time to adjust to an Arsenal team like ours because they play different. Having one goal last year for Chelsea, and him being essentially a replacement for Granit Xhaka, there's a lot of controversy towards that move. But now he's making it good again. He's making it good, and he's a signing that a lot of people didn't like because he was so expensive, and we could have gotten someone else on a on a cheaper price tag. But it's worked out the past, this run of games. He's been involved somehow. So we'll play Kai Havertz. The first half we wound up dominating. It seems like the first half it was like we had a hold on possession, and we kind of were rock and rolling at that point. Newcastle really had possession, which is what you want to see as an Arsenal's team. The way it's set up, they're set up very well. I think bringing on Jorginho was a good for Arteta to do because people forget how good he can be. He's an amazing player for those years in Chelsea as well. So he was monumental for Chelsea for a long time. So I think that signing was very underrated last spring, I believe. Uh, so far, he's done a good job. He's done his fair share of leadership, and his vision, his passing, has still let not ha- his passing still hasn't let him down, and I think the players have picked up on that. Um, that being said, we kind of dominated the first half. Second half, Bukayo Saka scores in the 62nd minute. Um, and I'll tell you, we are very lucky to have Bukayo Saka, and he seems to want to be here. He seems to have been patient with the way we play. I think we Arsenal fans, I think we see Bukayo Saka as now a superstar, uh, and for both club and country. Uh, ABX, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being on here. From the Boogie Down Bronx, as Gary likes to say. Uh, I got uh, I got a pack of Pepsi in the freezer, so it could be cool for the race. Yeah, so BX, it was kind of cool having you on the chat box yesterday during the elimination chamber. Uh, I was up at 3:30 in the morning with Tom and Tony and Stan. That was pretty funny. Um, you know, yeah, it's good to have you, BX. Good to be good to have you on the chat. But yeah, that was pretty funny being up that early in the morning having 3 cups of coffee with no fear in my system. Anyway, so BX, what are your thoughts on the game yesterday? I know if you were on Gary's podcast, you had more goals in the first half. Anyway, that being said, Saka, I can't wait what he does for England during Euros. Um, I'm an English fan. I like England. I like the Three Lions. I'm half British, I guess, from ancestry. Uh, so go for England and seeing. Oh gosh, BX, that's tough, man. I bet you have a lot of energy drinks, huh? Or Pepsi. Right. So it's good to have a good contingent from Arsenal. Especially Declan Rice now. I still can't believe Declan Rice is an Arsenal player playing for England. All these times, you see him at West Ham, representing England, but now you see him at Arsenal, which is pretty cool. And you see Bukayo Saka My hope is that Ben White gets called up for the England squad, and also Ramsdale. That's tough for Ramsdale. In a way, I feel bad for him because there's a lot of carousel goalkeepers recently in Arsenal. You had Leno, you have Ramsdale, and you have David Raya, which to me, David Raya is a polarizing character because he came in with a lot of hype from Brentford. I think he was a good goalkeeper, but I think since he's been at Arsenal, he's done a good job with taking away that number one spot from Ramsdale. I hope Ramsdale gets running games. I hope so because he needs it for his confidence, and he doesn't. I hope he doesn't feel like he's not forgotten because he's not. Um, Lastly, the last goal. Yeah, I agree. BX to me, I wish Eddie Nketiah would be more motivated and have some kind of inspiration to fit his price tag, and most importantly, the jersey, the kit number. Number 14, as you guys know, is Thierry Henry's old number, and also Bill Walcott. But I agree. Um, yeah, so that kit number is holds a lot of highest regard as far as strikers go. Um, Mr. Tom. Yeah, I want to finish out Mr. Tom because Mr. Tom is one of the hardest working people on YouTube. Literally. It was fun, Tom. Bless you, pal. It was a fun day yesterday, and I didn't do much. So thanks for keeping me calm. Thanks for keeping me occupied with the podcasting yesterday. It was a fun time, pal. I'm sure Tony and Stan feel the same way. We didn't want to. We did not want you to feel alone. So thanks for having me on. It was a fun time. It was really fun. Um, yeah, BX, I agree. It's just saying that Ramsdale got left out because I really thought that he could be a key player for us this year, and how it went down was not really how I would do a transfer like that. Uh, and it's Ramsdale's a good guy. I don't think him and his dad going to press was the best move for them, but it is it is it's a very frustrating situation. That's funny, yeah. Yeah, so the fourth goal came from Jacob Kiviar, and to me, Kiviar was like coming into his own in the past 2 months or so, as far as getting the starting left back position. To me, it's obvious that Arteta likes uh, he doesn't like, but it's just the hand he's been dealt as far as center backs becoming full backs. Obviously, you don't want to leave a guy like Ben White out because of Saliba and Gabriel are playing too good. So the best option for Ben White is playing right back. You see Kvyat and his talent level. He's a center back by trade. However, due to injuries and whatnot, Kvyat's playing left back, which to me, it's well done because Kvyat has now shown that he's versatile, just like Ben White. Just in case you have injuries like that. This is why it's important to have guys like Tamiyasu and Timber coming back sooner than later. Um, I'm interested to see if Zinchenko still has a future at Arsenal, and if so, what position is he best suited at exactly? It's a shame, BX, that Maitland Niles couldn't really uh, do the job that he was supposed to do and just stay humble. And because to me, he would have been a good right back. Um, but he wanted to play midfield. And at the time, midfield was not an option. Unfortunately, injuries also had a big part in that because I think he was out for a while as well. And he was on his way making being England international too at the higher level. So things like that happen, and I'm sure he's having fun at Lyon with his old buddy Lacazette. From what I heard, he's having a good year. I haven't really kept up with him, but I wish, as a player, I wish would have had a stronger mentality and not given up so easily because I believe he still would have had a future at Arsenal. Um, but yeah, Jacob Kiwior, he's become a good player for us, and like I said, a good signing. I think some of these January signings go out the window, or not go out the window, but they kind of go under the radar because of how good we are. And we picked up Trezor, we picked up Jorginho, we picked up Kiwior, all from the last winter's transfer market, and they're still effective today. So, yeah, very happy about how Kiwior had his head on the ball. And guess what? Ben White, Declan Rice got another assist from a corner kick position, which to me is pretty outstanding given that we really didn't start him off as him taking corner kicks. And the fifth goal came from Joe Willock, another Arsenal Howland graduate. And, you know, the price we got for Joe Willock should be the price we should be selling our players, not giving them a discount of 20 million. So that being said, congratulations from our Arsenal player Joe Willock. You know, he couldn't make it in Arsenal, so we sell him to Newcastle, and he punishes us, and we don't get a clean sheet because of that. Because of Ben White got turned around, and man, who was it? Reece Nelson. Yeah, I'm watching him play right now. Didn't really cover. So that happens, I guess. Thankfully, it happens later in the game where Gary would have been really pissed. Yeah, it is like a pirate, Tom, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, but Tom, didn't Ben White pay for Leeds, right? Along with not, well, it was after, but so did Leeds legend Eddie Nketiah, right? Oh, by the way, this is a good luck mug for Martin Truex Jr. He'll probably win today, but this is a good luck mug because he is racing today. So shout out to Martin Truex Jr. and my coworker Mikey. He was along. Okay, right. Got you, Tom. So that being said, I think Arsenal they don't play again until next Monday, and I'm off next Monday. So we'll see what happens with that. Next Monday is the Arsenal game to play. I believe Sheffield United. I believe. Let me see real quick if that is. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Right. Yeah. So they play Sheffield United. Sheffield United FC at 2 o'clock next Monday the 4th. Right. So I'm excited the way Arsenal are going and on the table. They're third now on goal on the third now, but the how is the BX? So Arsenal are 2 points below Liverpool in the standings in the table, which is close race to me. It's a very close race. Any step up can happen. at any given Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday, Fridays. But yeah, any step up, any loss, any draw can happen. This is why the Premier League is the best league in the world, in my opinion. Second closest league is the Championship, but Mr. Tom leads are second or first time. Sorry, Tom, I'm trying to incorporate your leads into this chat, into this podcast. Let's see. Sorry, Tom. Let's see. Right, so these are second place, which is pretty cool, considering Stefan's Ipswich are also tied for points. However, Leeds have goal differential by a pretty large margin. So, Tom, hang in there, pal. You're gonna be all right. So, I don't know about you guys, but to me, it's a 2 o'clock VX in Atlanta, hot Atlanta. Um, the thing about I'm different. Thing about I like about the championship is that the playoffs, to get the third spot to get promoted. Um, it'd be kind of neat to have a new club in there like Ipswich, which has been in the league for a long time. But in the battle for the third spot in the playoffs are Ipswich, Southampton, West Bromwich Albion, and Hull City. Which, as you guys can see, there's a huge gap between fourth and fifth. In football. Tom, do you like your chances to get promoted? This is not a joke. This is a question. So the race today is at 2 o'clock on Fox. Um, I watched the Xfinity race yesterday, and it was a close race. It's good, Tom. Um, so Martin Truex Jr.'s brother Ryan Truex finished ninth, and they went on a strategy of not taking gas when the caution came out. But he was running pretty well. He was running third all race long. He was running third, fourth, and fifth the whole race long, the whole race. Unfortunately, the caution came out, and you could question whether or not he should have gotten gas, because the other people in front of him didn't get gas. So Austin Hill won that race, and Austin Hill runs for uh, Richard Childress Racing, and today Richard Childress Racing has Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon. So today's race, Joe Logano and Michael McDowell had a first row, and last weekend was the same case. The Fords have been running really well this spring so far. Again, the Fords will have a good spot in this race because they had two good engines, two good bodies. Ford Dark Horse Mustang as well as Toyota. Toyota has a new uh, Toyota Camry TRD XSE. Both ran fast at Daytona. Both ran fast during qualifying. Well, Martin Truex Jr. was the fastest Toyota in qualifying, so he'll start 12th. at the row six. So there's optimism for today's race that he could do well, but Toyotas is just too fast. Or, excuse me, Fords are just too fast right now. As Mr. Tom says, tries not to get too arrogant about it, but yes, he's confident Leeds will get into the league again, back promoted. The X says, Tom, who's your favorite player? Who's your player of the season so far? Does Hamlin ever win a championship for Gibbs? The X, he hasn't. And last year, there was hope that him and Martin Truex Jr. did not qualify for the Final Four. Hamlin and Truex were both in the 2021 um, championship four. Martin finished second. Denny Hamlin finished, I believe, fourth or third. But yeah, Hamlin has been known to be a choke racer because he's got good regular seasons, good playoffs, but when he gets in that championship four, he just seems to run out of gas. Um, his pit box is probably the main problem, but Hamlin has always he's always have had the tools to become a champion, but he has yet to do so, unfortunately. And Hamlin has been known to be very arrogant on the racetrack as well, um, not taking the not taking the accountability of wrecking other drivers. Um, he gets really mad because he doesn't win, and he comes in second when a wreck happens, or there's always drama with him, and some fans don't like that. And but it's hilarious because he'll give it back to the fans. It's really funny. Um, if you go, there's been some instances where he's been got into some trouble with Hendricks, and Hendricks is Chevy cars. So he's got into it with Alex Bowman. He's got into it with Carl Larson. Uh, so he's quite a character. Martin Truex Jr. has had his rivalries with Joey Logano. Um, so yeah, YouTube those. It's phenomenal. Even Kyle Busch and Logano have had fights before too. Um, I believe it was Kansas that they got into a fight, and Martin Truex Jr. won that race. So it can get pretty crazy in the pit row and the garage, so to speak. Um, so you guys remember Jeff Gordon? Well, he got in a fight with Brad Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick pushed Keselowski into Jeff Gordon, and it was pure drama. Right. So, Tom, so how do you feel about what are the chances you feel that Patrick Bamford will score more than 15 goals this year? Okay, right. Somerville. Tom, what are your chances of Somerville being named to the Dutch Euros team or squad? I think Somerville has a lot of talent, Tom. I think are very lucky to have a talent like Somerville. BX, do you work today? So, as you guys know, this is an Arsenal NASCAR podcast, but I also like to Bamford. Tom says, I don't think Bamford will get 15, but he has had 5 and 7. Somerville could be a Dutch squad player, but I doubt he'd play. Oh, cool. Yeah, like I said before, you know, I always wanted. In a way, I feel bad for Leicester and their supporters because I know Tom would probably say you know I don't, but to me, I kind of felt like everything should have gotten relegated last year. As a fan watching this unfold after the Arsenal game, I kind of felt kind of like, well, Everton. If I'm an Everton fan or supporter, I would feel so embarrassed and so upset that Arsenal even got or Everton even got that that far down the table to begin with. Whenever I started watching Arsenal, Everton were higher to mid table a high mid table team. And what I mean by that, they'll always be fifth, sixth, seventh. Now, to me, that never had any business being that low in the table. Right here in the States on NBC or Peacock, they had their studio set up at Goodison Park as if they wanted a championship, as they wanted a trophy. That's how bad it was. And I know some fans will say, well, yeah, they did it for reasons. But if I'm an Everton fan, I'm upset because they haven't got that far. Like I said, down the table, it's disgraceful to me. Yates is up today. That's good, pal. Tom says very rare second tier players get selected for elite nations. I get it. Unfortunately, here in the States, that's not the case. If anything, those second tier players will start for USA, like a Tyler Adams. Sorry, Tom, I had to bring that up. Or Aronson. Yeah, but yeah. Like I said before, Leicester, the unfortunately their owner or just the father passed away, and so they were kind of limbo, and they had to sell players to get money flowing. Um, but you see guys like Jamie Vardy staying because he's loyal. Um, and it's a shame because you would think you know youth when they won the league back in 2016-17, it was great for football. Um, in this current climate, you have Saudis buying clubs with no history. So what they did was pretty phenomenal. But a team like that that's on a budget who doesn't have the funds like an Arsenal, like a City, like a Chelsea, like United, and they're playing European football, then it's hard to match that, I guess, income because you're playing against teams like Barcelona, like Real Madrid, like Bayern Munich, like City, like at that point Chelsea, Liverpool, um, teams like AC Milan, Inter Milan. So it's hard to compete with clubs like that. Even when they were in the even when they're in the Europa League, it was hard for them because they didn't have the players in the depth to match the other players from different countries or leagues. Um, so they were always on a budget, so they couldn't compete with that, unfortunately. But still, it was a great story. Um, so hopefully, a team like Ipswich and maybe Hull can get in as well. Because Norwich are always in and out, in and out, in and out, and don't have the players to keep up with that. Um, mhm, okay. I remember that the day that Watford beat Leicester in the playoff, or no, it was the playoff, correct, Tom? And Watford beat him on that last second goal, and that was pretty crazy. Then I think that's the next year Leicester got up, I think, to the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that's what I remember. But still a great story. And also the story of loyalty as well. Because I know there's rumors out there that Jamie Vardy was close to signing with Arsenal, but I think his wife maybe pulled out of it right away. So that being said, I'm glad Vardy's back in the Premiership because Vardy will always kill Arsenal when they played against each other. Um, and he was always a pain to deal with. Um, so, like I said before, this is just not a NASCAR Arsenal podcast. Yesterday, I woke up early in the morning, maybe too early, and had a good time with Tom, with and Tony on a Full Nelson podcast, and we were doing a watch along alongside with Stan, uh, one of our friends, and it was pretty fun getting up that early in the morning to hang out with those guys, and for 4 hours, little over 4 hours, we talked about wrestling, and we were watching Elimination Chamber, and I know we talked about this on the pod yesterday, Tom, but it was all in all pretty good matches there. So surprises, I guess. I was not expecting Logan Paul to use his knuckles to hit Randy Orton and having Drew McIntyre win and pin him to get the shot to get the heavyweight championship, and he's gonna wrestle Seth Rollins. You know, we all saw it happening. Though I picked Randy Orton to win, um, I'm okay with it, I guess, because I hope Drew McIntyre just stays at WWE. I think he still has a place there. Think he could still be a big name player, as they say. Uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. I think there's a lot of rivalries happening. Um, I hope Randy Orton destroys Logan Paul. Um, I think LA Knight wrestling AJ Styles would be a good match. Now, this is not all set in stone, but this is what I am assuming will happen. I think there will be some couple matches involving the Divas more so than they are at WrestleMania. I think Bailey and Tom, help me out. Who's she wrestling again? It's not Oscar. It's yeah, I think so too, Tom. I think Logan Paul being the heel. I think he's improved his wrestling. Um, Obviously from last year, I thought when he wrestled Bad Bunny, uh, he hasn't been that bad. Um, he's been actually pretty decent. Um, but you know how WWE likes to push the wrestlers. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, Randy Orton, as you, I think Tom, I think he got hurt during that match against in the Elimination Chamber, but who knows? Hopefully, it's a minor injury if that's the case. Um, so We'll see what happens with that. Um, but yeah, I think Rhea Ripley and what's her name? Man? Yeah. So Rhea Ripley versus Cody versus Roman Reigns. Tom, we all did the podcast last year. Watched along, or they watched along on WrestleMania, and that match was pretty good. Given the fact that we all knew who the champion was going to be, but like we talked about before with Cody Rhodes, the story that we all talked about, right? It takes time for a story to build up, and we all know we all said or implied that the story was too soon. So it was fitting that Roman Reigns won based on that reason was that it was just too soon because he came back from injury during Royal Rumble. It would have been unfair for Roman Reigns to give the belt that soon in that feud, you know, um, because the writing was all on the wall that it would be a rematch to me. I think the whole Rock thing was just so dumb that they put that out there because to me it would have been unfair for Cody to have to wait because the Rock's coming back for Roman Reigns. Now, that said, the rumors are out there. I'm sure Tom, you probably understand that The Rock's gonna have a part to play in this match. Now, last year, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso both interfered in that match. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while, but didn't they have a part to play in that match too? Now, I'm wondering if that will happen again. But Roman Reigns, but The Rock will fight off both Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso because it would the whole thing was bad to begin with to me because the writing's on the wall, right? Um, it should have been done. It should have been done naturally, you know, because we all know what's going to happen. Um, but I'm hoping that there's as much hype. He does. He irritates everyone, Tom. But I hope there's a lot more. I hope there's a lot more pushes for matches like there was all the title belt, all the title matches like Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. So I hope there's a lot of hype between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch because it's not the first time they wrestled. Um, but again, you kind of know what's going to happen with these kind of matches. That I just hope it's a hard fought contest between all four title matches. Um, with Bailey's match with Damage Control. Yeah, exactly. Because they're both powerhouses. Um, Granted, I think Becky Lynch is more faster, but Rhea Ripley is more stronger. So it'd be interesting to see how electric that would be. Um, Io Sky. So Bailey versus Io Sky. Now, unfortunately, I haven't seen how Io Sky wrestles. I unfortunately don't pay much attention to. I haven't really seen much of how Io Sky does in the ring. Um, though I know there's something there because she wouldn't be champion unless otherwise. Um, so I'm almost positive that damage control will interfere in that match. Which is a shame because I go back to Roman Reigns' title reign. Um, how much of that is legit because he always has someone to help him out, which is frustrating as a wrestling fan because I would say prior to that, you really didn't see anyone come and save Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar or whoever else had the belt. Uh, so to me, I hope that it's a fair match. I hope all four matches are clean. Um, so yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be an awesome WrestleMania with a lot of storylines going into them. DX asks, could Bailey versus Ripley be a headliner soon? One way it could work is if they decide to unify like they did it for Roman Reigns. But like I mentioned, I believe it was yesterday on Tom's podcast, there are a lot more female wrestlers that can do the job, um, and that it's growing. Unlike the '90s and 2000s, where you had a couple, maybe five, six women's wrestlers be that good. I, that was a joke, but yeah, I see now the women's division being more competitive, like it ever like I've never seen before. Um, and they have a lot of female wrestlers also injured right now as well, like Charlotte Flair. Now will she ever be the same again? Who knows? Because she's been injured a lot lately. The past 4 years, she's had to overcome a lot of injuries. Which can be hard on a wrestler. Because like all sports, now granted, people are going to argue that wrestling is not a sport, but it still has a lot of injuries. Um, so like an athlete, one major injury can cause a lot of little injuries, and that could be a problem. Um, so hopefully it's not as severe, and hopefully Charlotte Flair can come back to what she once was. You see Bianca Belair being a force. You're seeing yesterday's Elimination Chamber for women's contender, who's going to wrestle Ripley. It's pretty competitive. You've seen Tiffany Stratton becoming more talented. You've seen Biff Morgan also there. Um, even what's her name? Jeez, I'm not good at remembering female wrestlers' names. Um. Anyway, but yeah, Tom, do you know when Alexa Bliss is going to come back, or if she retired since she's a mom now? Because if she wasn't retired, maybe she'd come back, maybe make an appearance the night after WrestleMania. That'd be kind of cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the women's division is in a better spot than it has never has. Yeah, okay. Tom says she might retire, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think, what's a shame about that was that was on her, she seemed to be on her way I mean, she was a pretty good wrestler. I like Alexa Bliss. She brought a lot to her character. Um, but she does retire, and God bless her. She did a good job with, again, like her character, and she won all the belts as well, title reigns. So, BX, are you gonna watch the race today? Tom, what are your plans for today? Just hanging out, recovering from yesterday's podcast. Watch along. Yeah, so I'm very excited about today. Of course, the Flyers play the Penguins, and if you know your hockey, that's a big rivalry. So I might watch some of that on my phone while I watch the race. Sixers also play today, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a sports weekend. It's a good weekend to have. Okay, so 4 o'clock. And UBX, what are your plans for today? Tom, I'm gonna ask Gary if I could join the show tomorrow. Um, Looking forward to talking about Arsenal and Leeds, as well as some other stuff going on in the sports world. I know we probably messed up Ryan's show yesterday, but that's all right. I'm sure he'll appreciate the channel going and ahead of his absence. I hope Ryan is okay. I hope that he comes back because it was cool. It's always fun being included in the chat box as well as the watch along. I mean, during the Super Bowl. Um, so I hope Ryan is okay. Um, right, Tom. I know we show at 9 o'clock. 4 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock my time, I guess, at Tony's time. Yeah, but like I said, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. Looking forward to watch along with you guys. Looking forward to the week ahead. Um, yes, for yeah. So Tom, so who do Leeds play next in the league championship? Chelsea Wednesday or FA Cup. So I hope that Leeds win for you, Tom, because last thing we need as Arsenal fans is Chelsea getting ahead of themselves and thinking that they're back to being good again. Pike on the misery, Tom. Pile on the misery, Tom. RBX, you're 49. Right. So I'm watching the Fulham highlights as they beat United, and to me, I think it's pretty cool that Alex Iwobi scored yesterday from our Arsenal player. He's always, to me, he's a player that never stops working, and I was so happy for him yesterday. He scored. Um, he was an Arsenal player, so I'll root for any Arsenal player as long as they don't play for Tottenham, Chelsea, City, or United. So we'll play Alex Iwobi. Yeah, he's a good guy as well. Always laughing, always smiling. So he's a nephew of the Brighton Bolton, pardon me, Bolton legend JJ Okocha. So good for Alex Iwobi beating an old rival like United. So Ten Hag, Tony, the Tigers' favorite manager, gonna go back to Holland with his Hogs. Right. So as the end of the podcast, guys, good to have you on, Mr. Tom and BX. Thanks for being on the chat box. Keep me busy, keep me occupied, and laugh at your funny comments there. Thanks for keeping me going. Again, this is the Arsenal Truex Galaxy podcast. Thanks, my name is Alonzo, but some of you guys know me as Ronnie. So you guys have a good day, and see you guys tomorrow. Um, Tom, tell the people where they can find you. Is it I Love Leeds, or We All Love Leeds. Um, and also join Tom at the Full Nelson podcast, where him and Tony and a few guests like myself are on there as well. Stan and also Russ Morgan, sometimes Ben, will be on there talk about wrestling and say quirky stuff like We Are Brother. Anyways, thanks for people who are watching on the YouTube. Thanks for my friends watching as well. Mikey is a friend of mine from work who always talks about the podcast. And anyway, so yeah, have a good week, everyone. You can see me on tomorrow with Gary's podcast, DWTT podcast as well. So see you guys soon and have a good weekend and take care. Bye bye now.